Okay, it's on now. Yeah, we'll try it if it does now. I think it's on, yes. Yeah, I think it's on. Hola, it's Richman Z. And Genesis from To Be Quite Honest. Back yet again, and this time you wouldn't believe. Tell us where we are, Genesis.
We are in New York City. What? We are in Hudson Yards. Yes. The vessel is right outside.
And you can probably see just a bit of it just behind the department store.
You look hardy now.
Yeah, really, really amazing. Honestly, so imagine like from Mexico, from
Mexico City to Cancun. To New York City.
Honestly, I couldn't imagine, and it's like how it all started, like only just like 3 months.
Maybe
3 months ago. Yeah, April. Yeah, we met in April. We were talking about this
in
Chapultepec. Did I say that in this video?
Nailed it. Nailed it.
So Genesis, let me ask you, like, from coming the time you spent in Mexico now to returning back to New York, how do you find it? Like,
I feel like I'm a different woman, and so I'm seeing everything through a different lens.
Yes.
I feel like my perspective has changed so much.
Yeah.
I think a mixture of the pandemic and having had the opportunity to travel and see a different side of Mexico, because I feel like all I see in the news is drugs and killings and gangs, the crime side.
Always like the negative connotations about it. But as you said, and even I witnessed with our own eyes, is that there is such a bright side that no one really sees about Mexico.
About it, and it's beautiful.
Yes.
And so I think the whole mentality of like, this is the one life we get to live.
Yeah.
Let's not waste any moment with like bitterness, regrets. If you see an opportunity, seize it. Seize it.
You were saying about like that kind of stuff, like resentment, like complaining, just having just that kind of like you want to blame someone attitude. It will always hold you back. It's like an anchor. It's like an anchor that's bringing you slowly down to the depths of the ocean. And as you said, it's only like one life. It's like they always say the phrase now: live your best life, live your best life. But there's only one life,
so it has to be your best life.
It has to be now. And I remember we spoke about this when we were on my channel about like I think before the pandemic we always had this thing like someday I'm gonna
one day when
one day when I get in this kind of position, then I'll go to New York. One day when I get
this amount of money and when I do this,
and I think if you live like that, you will always, I think you're destined for regret, because that time may never happen.
And you don't get time back.
It doesn't come back.
So I think like if you are responsible with your finances, I'm not saying go into debt for this reason. Like if you're responsible with your finances and you can still get away with like traveling now, not waiting until you're retired, and taking advantage of all the experiences now. Because who knows when there might be another lockdown. Who knows what could happen. And the thing is, you can make money again. You can't get your time back.
You can't get the time back. These experiences now, it's funny, even before we met today, I was thinking, man, all of the stuff we've done up to now, like, visiting Cancun, exploring Mexico City, now coming to New York, I have these moments that no one can take it away from me.
No one can take your experiences away from you.
From what I've seen with my own eyes, it's like I can be in 50 years time, if I luckily make it to, I can be like, man, I had a real good ride there, rather than just being in that kind of
holding. Like I'm waiting for. And even if it's someone like dating podcast, because we're gonna try to use this for both.
Of course, we're gonna agree. To be quite honest, if I didn't say for
but like even on the like waiting for a partner to enjoy your life, it's like no, like live your best life right now, and the partner will come along.
We talked a bit about that, like off camera about like preparing for like dates. You know, like sometimes you can always overthink it about like, oh, what should I dress this way? Then maybe 5 minutes you change it. You know, like how should I kind of speak to it to maybe get some stuff in common? But whilst you're doing all of that, you've already kind of upset the kind of how it's actually going to go.
You're setting the vibe,
yeah. I believe you're already setting yourself up for failure when it should just be more of an organic. Like you meet someone, you gel with someone. This most likely, and this is a key. I'm gonna let the audience know. Like you won't, it's just a free guys. You know, you will not gel with everyone. You know what I mean? There's some people for some reason they may just not click with you in the way you maybe want to click with them, and it's cool. You know,
they're just not your people.
You know, and as soon as you can kind of get that off, I think it will make you more kind of like relaxed. You know what I mean? You'll be more like kind of like, okay, let me just come. If it works, no problem. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and I can keep moving on.
And the problem is that, like you said, if you spend that whole time getting ready, trying to impress them or trying to do things that they'll like, you're losing yourself in the process. Exactly. And then it's not like you being your genuine self.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah. You're putting on like theater. You know what I mean? Like you gotta impress them, and the second like the lights are down or you go somewhere else.
It's not sustainable. Like you could put on a smile, or you could pretend you like basketball for one game. But if he wants to go to the whole season, you're gonna be like,
I was gonna ask this question. Exactly. Do you think that's where some relationships dissolve? Like, you know, long relationships that maybe go on for like even a year now in this era is kind of long. Do you think that can be sometimes okay, I've had enough because like when I met them, they didn't really like this show on Netflix, or they didn't really like to go to, but they didn't like baseball as I do. Do you think that kind of common interest that they don't have at the beginning, that's what can be the ultimate breaker for relationships?
Ultimately? I'm not sure. I think the big problem is pretending to like something in the beginning as a means to an end.
Right.
Because it's not sustainable. So if in the beginning I'm like, oh my gosh, I love watching that Netflix show in here. And then once we're in a relationship, I'm like, I hate
You're still watching it.
And then you're gonna be like, but I thought that's what we had in common. And now our common interest has dissolved. And then it feels like you're building a foundation on a lie. So it's like, what's the point of building a house on sand? It's gonna get swept away.
It's a lot to invest in when you find out that the real person wasn't, you know, it wasn't like the real person you thought was, you know, and you've already gone like, I know. So
now I'm invested. Emotionally.
When you've gone like when you've gone deep, like you get in the house, you get in the family, maybe get in the dog, and you go so deep, and then you find out, man, this person is not kind of like what I thought.
Showing their true colors. I think people should show their true colors from the beginning. I'm not perfect, neither are you. I'm a little crazy.
That's my thing.
Do a crazy smash?
Yes, exactly. I like the Knicks, you like the Bulls.
But like, can we compromise? Can we go to a Knicks game and then we go to a Bulls game?
Thank you.
Will that work? If it doesn't, then maybe this isn't the right thing. And then I always think it's important to have like alone time. Like maybe there's an activity that you do with your boys, or like, you know, family or whoever you want to do it with, and maybe there's activities that like I'm not gonna drag you to get your nails done.
No, would I run a ball with that? They said the
Bring your girlfriends.
Exactly. I believe the heart grows more fonder when there's time apart. You know what I mean? When it's like more away, you would be like, oh, I treasure it more. But if they're with you all the time, if they're with you all the time, I guarantee you, even if you are so gaga love for this person, you would start to feel like, oh, why is he always? Doesn't he have something to do? Internally, you say that.
So I think having your own interest is good. And I don't think you have to be like exactly the same. Because, I don't know, I think it's so beautiful when, let's say you're super into space. And I love Bitcoin. And then, because you're interested in my interest, you learn a little bit about Bitcoin, and I learn a little bit about space, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I've grown from this. But if we like the exact same things all the time, it's so think that's fun.
As you said, it's kind of like faking it, faking it till you make it. Like, oh, astrology. Oh, I love astrology too. Then you don't know nothing, but you're like, oh yeah, just nodding your head, and it's like you're not really taking anything in, rather than just to stay from the beginning. Like, okay, no, I don't know this, but you do.
And because you do, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. That's what gained the interest, and you can also see from the partner side that okay, he's yes.
Yeah. Exactly. I think that's so helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think for the other partner to acknowledge, like, hey, this person's making an effort.
Yes.
Like, they may not like this, but they're trying it for me.
For sure.
Yeah. I think that's so sweet.
Yeah. So, second question, like, from I'm putting it down at that. So from like being in like Mexico, like because I remember you explored pretty much the same areas in that, like we talked about like Chapultepec, some of the southern museums, like Coyoacan. How do you feel like the lifestyle? Like, do you think? Now this is amazing. Do you think now, like after having such a extraordinary time in Mexico, if there was an opportunity to be like Genesis, you can now live in Mexico. They give you the passport.
I would do it in a heartbeat.
You did.
Absolutely. I loved it. I think I've gotten to travel a little bit, like not as much as you or some of our other friends.
Yes.
Just a bit though. And I think it was one of the most welcoming countries.
Yes.
Everybody was so kind. They were so helpful.
Very like embracing, new, and that one I was so like shocked, because again, when you hear like about Mexico, you're like, is it gonna be like this?
Am I gonna get shot in the middle of the day?
Yes.
Right. And it wasn't like that.
All those things you think is gonna happen, then it just go 180, and I was like, wow, this is so the world.
I love it. And I think it's so similar to the U.S. But then it's got the warmth and the kindness of like the Mexican people, and the food was so fresh.
Yes.
Those ingredients.
Yes.
Like even when I cooked, do you remember when I was
I remember.
I was like, guys, I wish I was this good of a cook. It's the ingredients.
You'll find out in Mexico, like sometimes you won't need to cook. Like especially when I was back in Canada, I was cooking all the time, so just to avoid like always getting a takeout. In Mexico, I found it very difficult because it was like every corner you could go get a nice cooked meal, whether it be the enchiladas, the quesadillas,
chilaquiles,
the tamales, so.
And you can also get like American fare, acai bowls, smoothies, salads.
Exactly. So
for reasonable prices.
Honestly, there's such a strong variety of like meals that you can always have a different experience each time, and that's,
like you don't have to eat at the same place twice, but you can.
if you want. But that's why I always love Mexico, and like with that being said as well, so like you said, like living in Mexico, you're doing a heartbeat. I honestly would do it as well.
You are doing it.
I'm doing it now. I'm still in Mexico now. I'm gonna like ride it until I'm riding the wave until it stop. For sure.
If not now, when?
Yes. So
I might join you come winter.
Yes. No. We're talking about certain places, and we're gonna continue like a lot of the tours in that. So like with Mexico. With Mexico there, like is there any other like places you would like to visit as well, like that are on the bucket list?
So I think Thailand's up on my list.
Asia, I'm definitely looking to get there.
Asia in general.
Yes.
But I've heard that Thailand is just so affordable, and I'm like, especially if I could escape for a whole winter.
Yes.
Like 3 months.
It's like the opposite of the
I'm just not a fan of cold weather. But Thailand, I think for sure. And then I also want to do some exploring around Central America. I feel like Mexico had such a bad rap, and then once I got there, I was like, no, this is beautiful. So I'm like, maybe it's the same for like El Salvador or Costa Rica. So I'm like, maybe a little, not island hopping, but country hopping.
And I said if it's in Central America, again, to go to those different ones, again, you don't have to worry too much with visas.
Well, I don't have to worry so much about, I think, travel time, because they're just so close.
They're close to each other. If you're taking flights, maybe less than under,
hopefully under 100.
So you're looking at reasonable price and reasonable travel time. So I believe it's very good to do those trips when you're in the continent. Rather than going
I come back. And I think even if I went back to Mexico, there's so much to explore. I feel like I barely scratched the surface of Roma Norte.
Yes, just the Roma Norte.
Just the Roma Norte.
I like the way you put that, Roma Norte.
And like now, I don't think I even fully explored Ciudad Mexico.
Yes.
Like the way you have.
Yes.
Like the stories that you tell me, I'm like, I never went there.
Yeah, nice. And I bet you there's another traveler in Mexico who probably he's done even more, you know what I mean? And that was one of the best things. I think, you know, meeting you, obviously meeting Christine, meeting Chelsea, meeting Israel.
Yeah.
So many people that I met who had the kind of like-minded set of just like, hey, I'm here now. I want to explore. I'm not going to take myself too seriously. I'm going to live in the moment. And that really helped because where I came from before, especially with how crazy last year was,
lockdown,
I was just locked down, you know. So it's like I was seeing the same.
You've literally been liberated.
Liberated, yes. Different more. First time I just feel like open and I feel free, not like you know shackled anymore. So
and it was so hard for you because you didn't even have groceries, right? Like everything has to be delivered.
Yes, I had to always. It's like Uber Eats was my new amigo. It was my amigo. So it was a major like free like change, you know, coming into this year. You know, just going there to Mexico. It's where it started. Went there, didn't know no one, didn't know a lick of Spanish.
And check you out.
I know, you know. Hey, español practicando.
Yeah.
You know. So yes.
I think it's been such a drastic change, and I think Mexico did a really. I mean, while I was there, I don't know if they've eased up, but they did a really good job in like using hand sanitizer, keeping your mask on. Like every store we went into, they even had that like alcohol solution for your shoes.
Yes, just to like kind of cleanse you before you came. And they also had the, I believe they checked your temperature.
Yes.
Well, you know, so.
And so to a degree, I felt very safe. I felt like I was being taken care of by the country.
Yes.
Like, and even when we used to go to the mall, it was like every store you needed to reapply hand sanitizer. You needed to get your temperature.
You just walked out, come back,
2 steps later.
Follow the procedures, how to wipe your hands.
And I mean, not to discredit all the work that New York City is doing, but like it's not something we see here.
Yeah. As you can see. Yeah, and Zara is just like just on that side again. You can just walk in. So
and you can see there's not a lot of people wearing masks, and it's not really.
Even though like some have been like vaccinated, still I think you know procedures would be like to wear the mask, you know,
especially with the variant.
You know, coming in there. So I think you know as Genesis put it, like they handled it pretty well. You know what I mean? It wasn't no crazy outbreaks when we were there. You know what I mean? We just had to follow the procedures.
And we did, and it wasn't a really big deal.
Exactly.
And I mean, there's so many opportunities to be outdoors too. Between the parks, even walking tours. The murals that we would see.
Honestly, I used to always leave like my place and just go. Some days when I didn't have nothing to do, I just used to go to Central or to a different park and just stay there for the whole day. Sometimes just absorb the culture, meet someone new and just talk like, hey, I'm from here and I've come to Mexico, and they'd be like, donde, you know.
And they're so friendly. So friendly.
Very welcome. And I think what I love so much about it is the, you know, the kind of, like here, very diverse. You know what I mean? But New York, similar like Canada, super diverse, you know.
We're in the melting pot.
Yes, exactly.
This is awesome.
So to come like, you know, Mexico City and forget about even the ethnicity or skin color, but just to come there as pretty much like an outsider and just to be like it was like so honestly I could not tell you how like it felt like okay I'm gonna stay here, you know, whereas like if it wasn't I would have been like where are we gonna go back home?
I think that's definitely what made the difference. The people like they're so welcoming, they're so nice, they're so respectful. Did you find that? I found that they were so respectful.
When I came into the even just to go to the OXXO, you know, regular store just to buy, you know, water, it was just like, oh, you know, Mucha Gracias, you know, hasta luego. They would say that, and those little stuff, it could just help me just appreciate it.
For sure. No, I definitely liked it. To me, it felt very safe. I highly recommend it, y'all. 10 out of 10 for
10 out of 10, yeah. I usually 5 stars, but 5 stars is not enough.
It's not enough.
It's not enough.
And then I understand, because do you remember the couple we met in Cancun?
Yes.
The older gentleman?
Yes.
They said that the Roma Norte and the Mexico City experience was different because of the pandemic. And I get that, but it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not always like that.
Yes.
But if you go now, it's beautiful.
Yeah, especially from our experiences, I can not complain. Every moment there's like I was walking on sunshine.
Yeah.
I mean, I think again, there's always areas that are a bit like shady, sketchy. That's all across the globe. You honestly get that kind of like vibe in you. Like even in the summer, like maybe I shouldn't be here. And they always say go with your gut, like 100%. So you feel it. But I think like where we, especially where we were located in Romanote, in Polanco, like no one problem.
No. I mean, we got lost. Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember. Yeah,
we got lost, but there wasn't any danger.
Yeah, no. It's always safe,
But like Rich said, it depends on the area.
Yeah, I just think so. Yeah.
And you should know better, you guys. Like,
you just gotta be like,
your spidey senses tell you go.
Yeah, if you go, honestly, like I said, like I wanna say like when I was in Mexico, I didn't ask too much times for direction because again the language barrier, especially at the beginning when I didn't know nada in Spanish, I wasn't being like, oh yeah, where to go here. It was only later when I started to build my confidence and I knew
even then, they're like the street so and so, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're saying.
I would just be like, there one time because one guy is a policia, he's just trying to direct me to the entrance to Chapultepec Park. And he's like, it's so quick. I was like, oh my god.
Despacito.
I said, so. But then it was like later when it's like I could break the words down, and now because I've journeyed various places in Ciudad de Mexico, I'm so cool. I can still picture it, right?
That's so cool.
Yeah.
What would you say is your favorite part about living in Mexico?
The food. The food.
Seriously.
I would say the culture. The culture. Yeah. Again, as I said, it was completely new to me because when I saw Mexico, one of my favorite films is Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Shout out to Enrique and Johnny Depp, they did great. But like, you'd see movies like that and you'd already have just one impression of like, oh, this is how like Mexico, even in the movie, So it wasn't until I came in here then it's like I just loved the culture. Like when they wake up in the morning, like they saw somebody kind of sings.
Oh my gosh!
In the morning.
Our friend hated that.
Yeah, they were shouting out like what they were selling.
When we were in Cancun, they were selling bread.
Yes. I have one they were selling like different types of the ice cream, the mango. I think it's Ices. It may be one of them, but they sell it like it's either ice cream or it's like soda or something like that. But like they would sell that like early, like 6, 7. It would wake me up. It was like my alarm.
No, it's true.
Yes.
Yeah, our friend hated it because at 7 o'clock in the morning, without fail.
Yes.
We had this truck that would drive around asking if you were selling fridges, kitchens, or mattresses. We're like so loud. And it's crazy because I feel like my Spanish brain wasn't on at that time. So she was like, what are they saying? I was like, I have no idea.
I have no idea.
It's just loud.
Honestly, but after time, it's like I got used to it. Like, okay, 6:30, they could sell it out. So it was, and I
feel like I missed it my first night here. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, honestly, when I came, especially when I came, because I arrived to New York in early this week, Monday, and it's like there was a part of me that I really missed, like when I was, missed the Oxo, missed like the Central, and just missed like meeting my Mexican brothers. Yeah, Oxo, I love going there.
For guys who don't know, Oxo is like the 7-Eleven of Mexico.
That's the one.
Although they do have 7-Eleven.
Yeah, they have 7-Eleven. Oxo is the very frequent one you'll see.
Awesome.
This is totally cool, yeah.
Yes, if you ever go to Mexico, you're gonna need to drink bottled water.
Yes.
And Oxo is the place to go.
I recommend Ciel, CIEL, big one you can get for just under 20 pesos. I don't
remember which one I like. But it's like, it has black and red letters and it's electrolytes.
That maybe
I exclusively drank electrolytes water.
Right.
But I still got sick.
Yes.
But Chelsea, because she came later.
Yeah.
We were like, you know what? Like, even brush your teeth with bottled water.
Yeah.
And she did that. And she never got sick.
Yeah. I first time I didn't get sick, but it's like I was using like even Israel. He was telling me, he's like, no, amigo, use the bottle of agua. I was like, okay, so I got one just for like my regular.
Yeah, that's what she did.
And another one just for like
drinking.
So definitely. This year, like we're now in the halfway point, midway.
I know.
July.
Can you believe it? In a way, I'm like, but we've done so much. We've done so much, and it's only July, so it's like, what's next? Like, I'm just so excited.
That was my question to you. Like from now to like December, like what do you fix on the horizon?
I was thinking the same. I was like on the horizon.
On the horizon, like what can you see? You know, like if you went to the top of the.
So when I came back from Mexico, I was here in the States for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then I went straight into Ecuador.
I remember.
So I feel like I barely unpacked, and then I was repacking again. But it was so much fun, and I almost didn't do it because I was like, I just want to be home for a minute. But then I thought back to our conversation, and I was like, nope, we have one life to live.
One life, you know.
If I don't do it now, when am I going to do it?
When is it going to be?
Right. And so I was like, no, let's do it. For now, as you see, there's something magical about New York City. Summers in New York, like, there's a salsa song written about summers in New York. Like, that's just to say, they're magical. So I kind of don't want to go anywhere right now. But come September, well, I think I'm going to Texas in a couple of weeks, but that's still States. But come September, I am ready.
You're ready to go.
I think I want to do Mexico one more time.
Yes, and to the other locations like Acapulco,
Tijuana. I want to stay there for Day of the Dead. Yes, I just feel like it would be so beautiful. I mean, I've seen it on Coco, but not the same.
It's a great film.
Great movie.
I loved it. I watched it when I was back there on Disney Plus. So good. Again, with the culture, like it's like. It wouldn't have been the same effect if I had not been in Mexico. When I was in there and I was watching it, I was like, oh, I get this. Okay, it makes sense.
So I think I want to do that October, November. So a couple of weeks, maybe 3 or 4 weeks back in Mexico. And then come home November for Thanksgiving, Christmas. So maybe that's my last trip, another trip to Mexico. Maybe. But come January or like come winter, I definitely want to do Thailand. I want to do Thailand. And maybe even earlier, like depending on how cold December is.
Because like you know, this is why I've been out of Canada for this long, you know.
Colder.
I've been trying to avoid like the winter. You know, the winter was bad, but especially when winter in the lockdown, that's when you're in the house more of the time. Even though there's heating on, it's like, you know, when you're in a still place, that's when you start to feel more of the cold, when you're like, you know, on the move.
And you can't be on the move when there's snow.
Honestly, it really blocks your path, you know. But Asia. It's funny because one of my students who I train is from Korea, and we've been talking. I
so want to go to Korea. I've been watching a lot of K-dramas since I got back. Where is he from? North Korea, South Korea? Perfect. So when are we gonna meet him?
Oh man, honestly, it's going to be coming to the channel very soon. Just wait for that. But he's been talking about like the food dishes and like the best time to go to South Korea. And
what's the best time to go to South Korea?
Oh man, he said if you went like October, November, you would have the best time. And I was like, you know, again, I'm like, it sounds crazy, but it just made me work.
Let's do it.
Because he's so.
Alright, so maybe let me not do Day of the Dead. And let me do Korea.
But let's see. He said from there, October, even December, they have a great because of, you know, the even though it's not Korea, they have the New Year. You know, the New Year's, and he said that time, that lead up to Christmas, to New Year, one of the most amazing times. Big parades.
Can we go?
Big food. That may be the next journey, ladies and gentlemen.
It's so much fun.
You know, but that even excites me just talking about it now, because again, it's something new, a challenge, new people to meet, new
culture, new food.
The other side. So
can he go with us just so we have?
I honestly, he's a real cool guy. I'm gonna continuing like and he's still fit.
Because I feel like Asia would be so beautiful. And then because we were in Mexico, I just think exploring the rest of Central America would be so much fun. So much fun.
I had plans originally when I came to Mexico, because I'm so much. I was gonna just go Mexico, then I was gonna dip to like Colombia, even just for like a week, just see Medellin. Then I was like, I love Mexico so much. I said I can't leave now. Let me stay. Another time I could go Colombia, even possibly Brazil, Ecuador.
I so want to do Brazil.
I so want to do Brazil.
COVID numbers are still really high though.
So So it's,
and I don't want to live in fear, but I also feel like we need to be cautious.
Again, there's some areas that like COVID is really at its highest, you know. So like you have to really, again, you just have to watch out completely. But again, it should not deter you if you really want to go. Again, sanitize always. Make sure you got your mask on. Sana distancia. Social distancing. Remember, you gotta have your space in between, and just take care of yourself.
I think, I think Peru would be amazing too. I went to Peru for like a day once, and it was amazing. And you know, just converting dollars to soles, I felt like I was rich because converting dollars to pesos, you feel like you're rich.
I feel like a rich man. I just like that in.
But soles go even further. I feel like I spent $40, or I exchanged $40, and I still came back home with change.
Are you kidding?
And I ate like a full course meal. I got souvenirs. I got desserts. I bought a book, and I still had money left over.
Some people they don't know that, you know. We spoke about, I won't go into too much into, but the ones who, they call it like living in the matrix, you know. It's one like a YouTuber I watched, you know. He was one of the one who influenced me to go Mexico. I was watching his videos, SBK Lifestyles, you know. So he was saying he was stuck in America for almost like similar age as me, like coming to 30, and he was stuck there. He just didn't know how it was like on the other side, and he was talking about that when he converted his dollars to pesos, how much money he's saved. He said for the first time in his life he felt he had control of his destiny, you know. And I was like, wow.
And that's kind of what we spoke about earlier today, that you saved so much money during these past 5 months compared to 5 months in Canada.
You know, so it was like very, like he said, it was very liberating, you know, when he came. As he said, it liberated when we came here. I was like,
and what's crazy is that money that you're basically throwing down the drain in rent, saving that money literally liberates you to take the amount you save and go explore somewhere else. Have a new experience.
Because money comes and go, but do you want to be, you got two ways. You can spend money on the stuff that's gonna go nowhere, you know.
Like $6 on coffee at Starbucks.
Oh God, tell me, man. You know, you can spend it on like the most expensive sneakers that you're never gonna wear, you know what I mean.
And you're gonna be so stressed when you wear them because it's like, don't stain them, don't get any puddles.
Honestly, so you know, you can do that, or you can have these experiences that you can tell your future generations about. Like, you know, I went on a hot air balloon.
We had champagne on a hot air balloon.
I can't even
sound real.
It's real. I was like, why? When we came to the balloon in Teotihuacan, and I was just like, we're actually going up there. And it floated, you know. So it's like those kind of life experiences, they can never be taken away from you. You know, the sneakers can get, stay. They can, you know, they can always get like it's replaceable. You know what I mean? But those moments,
no one can take those.
They can never take it. So,
and I mean, when you're on your deathbed, be it at 40, 50, 80, 90, what do you want to remember? Like,
what will bring you happiness? You know, that just either moments when you're just by yourself and you're just thinking like, because I've done this since I got Mexico. I'm like, man, that whole balloon was pretty cool, man.
Like, I lived a good life.
Honestly, you know, and I just encourage like anyone who's watching this, you know, don't allow the people around you who are kind of just living that day-to-day life of, you know, paycheck to paycheck, maybe with the wrong friends or partners. You know, don't let that deter you to living your own kind of destiny. It's really taking control.
Make your own path. Yeah, and I think so much of it is knowing what you don't want to do. Also. Because like maybe you're being invited with your friends to go to Vegas for the weekend. I don't want to do that.
Exactly. And it's a cliche. I honestly think, you know, I got offered this maybe 2-3 times. Like, let's go to Las Vegas, and I'm like, okay, how much money is gonna cost? So.
It's like $2,000 for a weekend there versus $1,000 for a month in Mexico. I mean, seriously.
Even more. You know what I mean? But it's
so it's like know your nose, know what you don't want, because it's gonna help you realize what you do want. Like, I don't want to be in debt over keeping up with the Joneses. Right? Like the hottest, latest
thing in the night.
Lululemons. I just need shorts to work out. They don't need to be $200.
Exactly. This goes on to as well, like about like coasting, you know, like coasting with the wrong friends or coasting. I think what helped is when you came, you know, Christine, Chelsea, they were like-minded of like they were willing to travel anywhere in the world, you know what I mean? And even when I came by myself, I met people in Mexico
who were also doing that.
If I had come with some of my amigos
from back home,
it wouldn't have happened. No, they would have found a way to kind of be like, oh, I want to go Cancun. No, don't go there. Oh, I want to go Veracruz. No, maybe next time.
I kid you not. I think, and this is something that I'm still like working on. But it feels like removing those negative opinions from others. Again, liberates you to live your best life.
Exactly.
And finding like-minded people, like you said, just helps because it encourages you. You're like, oh, we can do it. And honestly, we've done it. Like, we're here. It's July. We're not in debt. You know,
we're still here.
We're still here. We're still traveling.
Like, it's encouraged us more, you know. So I think every time like I've gone like every time I did like a landmark celebration, like when it was like 1 month in Mexico. Okay, cool. I did 1 month, 2 months in Mexico. Oh, okay, 3 months in Mexico.
And it keeps getting better,
and it just kept on going on. So every time I got like these, and I think it's important, you just have this small kind of like achievement, like it's a trophy, like
celebrate
I did this. Anytime you did this, it just makes it more like, okay, I can conquer this now. You know, New York, let's do it. Let's do it. Korea. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Because I feel like last time we spoke about you coming into New York, and here you are.
Yes.
So
we were talking about Korea down the line. Let's think, like I said, middle of the year now, July coming to August. Let's see if 3-4 months.
November.
That would be dope.
I mean, I'm not planning to travel, so I'm gonna be saving some money. Therefore, come November, I can afford that South Korean plane ticket. Let's go.
We're gonna make it. Remember this video. We're gonna make it up. All right.
Like if you write it down, it'll happen.
That's what I always.
It'll happen.
I always, anytime. I wrote the New York one in last month. I put it in my note. I don't have my notebook with me, but I'll put it on the screen. Yes, I put it down. I said my visa's expiring now. All right, New York.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
You know what's crazy? One of my friends was like, what do you do to set goals for yourself? And I was like, I actually don't. But then I thought of like the 1 year that I wrote my resolutions down. I did write my resolutions down in 2019. I literally looked back at it and I crossed 8 out of the 9 things that I wrote down.
Right.
Isn't that amazing? Yes. And the one that I didn't cross off was like host my nephew for, I think he was coming in spring, host my nephew for the springtime and like just, you know, do everything that he wants to do. But he got sick, so he canceled his trip. But I was like, that wasn't up to me. That was an outside factor. But everything else, down to the time that I wanted to move, down to the time that like I wanted to get this new job offer, like everything came to pass. And I was like, all right,
came to fruition.
You gotta write it down.
You gotta write it down. I think it keeps you more very more focused on it when it's like you could see on the paper like okay this is like, and it's not like someone saying
don't obsess over it.
Don't obsess. I was just gonna say, notice I didn't say I was just gonna say obsess, but I think when you kind of write it down, it's like I have to do this rather than someone telling me what to do. You know,
it's
like
you want to do.
Yes, and I just gotta have that as a like a pointer, and even if you don't know, like a reminder, as you say, even if you don't know like how to accomplish it originally, I think you will take the right ways how to get it.
Yeah, it's almost like in writing it down, you're heading in that direction. Yes. It's like, okay, now that we're going to South Korea.
Yes. Oh, yeah. We put it
what can we start doing to prepare to go to South Korea?
Honestly,
And again, saying no to some things to say yes to better things.
Yes. Honestly, I think that's probably one thing I don't know about you, but in this year, I've definitely had more, again, it's the control. I've had ways I could say no to things that I know that 2 years ago I would have had to do because of the position I was then. It's like a pendulum, like I'm in a different wavelength now, like, I got a nice camera now, where maybe 2 years ago that would have been for something that wasn't going on, you know what I mean? So it's like
I feel like I don't mean to say it, But I feel like I threw so much money away just like going to brunch with friends.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, well, it was an investment in friendship. But did it have to be $60? Maybe not.
I had more of the parties, you know what I mean? And it's like, I remember that some of the ones like you go Friday, it would be on Saturday after party date, and Sunday, you know, you smashed or you know, so like I remember sometimes, you know, those weekends where it's like I could have been spending more time trying to like, you know, focus on really growing my channel or just branding, you know, like I mean sometimes you need that alone time to really make your stuff blossom, and I think I've focused more on that now because I've been traveling more solo to be like, okay, yes, I need to take more time to really.
That's so important. Yeah. To have that time of like self-reflection
100%.
and have growth from there, like you said, to really bloom. Yeah. Because it's never too late to bloom. No, like you can start now and you can really just look within yourself. Like, what is in me that's hindering me? Is there resentment, like we spoke about in the beginning?
Yes.
Is there any bitterness? Like, what's holding me back?
There is.
And how can I let that go? Let that anchor go.
The anchor, I think it's such a metaphorical. Someone, a good friend actually told me about this. He had like an ex-girlfriend and he was always holding him back, you know, like just
that's
like
tough. We can talk about that in the relationship
that's
podcast.
another one, you know what I mean? But like the sooner you can get that out, things will be just way more clear, you know what I mean?
I found that with friendships this year.
Yes.
I was like, actually, why am I hanging out with all these girls who keep going back to their ex-boyfriends?
Yeah, so that's a regular pattern, and I think what that's probably a sign of you growing up as well. It's an internal mature, because you know you won't see when someone actually mature, but when you're there, it's like you will question. You will start being like, these lot are complaining about their exes, but yet they're scurrying back to them. What does that make sense? But you can identify it, but
because you're on the outside looking in.
Because you're on the outside, and I think you've come to a point where you've kind of understood that this is not getting me nowhere. I may have to just kind of detach to follow my.
And it's so hard. I think it's so hard because
some of them, like, you know, I had friends in like elementary and high school and even through college, and I just found out, like, you know, I found like, okay, you know, you're not talking about getting houses, you're not talking about like
the things that I wanted.
You know, moving on to that next set of life. I felt some of them were not. They were playing checkers, not chess.
Oh gosh.
You know? I had to put a reference, but they were not ready.
True.
They were not ready to take kind of responsibility of life, because naturally, you know, everyone's gonna age, and it comes a point like you gotta have your house, you gotta start your family, you got to get to that level. You know what I mean? Just naturally for everyone.
But not everybody wants that.
Yes.
And I think it's okay to understand, like, hey, you're great.
Yeah.
This is just not going to work out.
Exactly.
Like, you know, as far as friendships go.
Yeah.
Because you're not on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
And so they're talking about partying 3 days straight, and you're thinking, how am I going to remodel this house? It's just different things.
It's as you said, it's a different. It's almost like a different language at times. You know, you'll be speaking this, and you'll be speaking like you're speaking Italian, and they're speaking
Spanish.
You know, Espanol, and you're just like, nah, this is no. And I think the moment you can just say like, you know, we're cool. I like you, you like me, but we just kind of need to go our separate ways.
And you're each hindering each other.
Yes.
Because I don't know, I think something that I'm learning is that when you let go of those things or those people, you actually make space for you. 100%. So like maybe they'll find a friend who does want to party and get wasted 3 days out of the week, you know? And like maybe you'll find someone who already has a house and they can teach you how to make a closing offer.
Of course, you know, going into like
electricians, plumbing.
And what you need for the viable like assets once you actually have your own house to build up, because it's an investment. You know, it's not something you can really play around with, you know. I mean, that's your future. So it's just and I think naturally you will get those people if you can.
You make space for them.
You have to make space, you know. So like,
and that's the same for everything, right? For relationships too. If you're hanging out with a girl or a guy, and it's not going anywhere.
It is, you know, we talked about this. Remember, we said like, can you picture this one like in lockdown? In lockdown, can you picture them like seeing your family, like what are their impressions gonna, if you know that deep, because you will know, I know Genesis, you will know this in deep down.
Your gut will tell you.
Will my family like
I feel like the heart is deceitful, like even the Bible says that the heart is deceitful. Because you're like, oh my gosh, I love him. Everything he does is perfect.
Yes.
But your gut will tell you.
Yeah.
Your gut will be like, something's off.
Automatically.
Something's off.
You'll just be like, no, this isn't definitely.
It's not butterflies, it's like dragonflies in your stomach. You're like, oh, it's something's wrong.
So you just be like walking. Sometimes, usually when I always feel like, this isn't the right move, I kind of like just stop. Like sometimes I'll just be walking, I'll just maybe find a seat, sit down and just be like, nah, this isn't it.
But that's literally like taking time to look inward.
Yes.
Which I think is so important.
Which is important, yeah.
And I don't know that I was doing that before the pandemic.
No.
Because it was such a hustle.
Oh my God.
I go from this meeting to this meeting and after work drinks and then I have a commitment here, lunch here, and it was like, there was no time to sit down and be like,
reflect.
Yeah.
That was my life. It was like leaving first thing in the morning and do my job, maybe go back to my go back to my second job. Maybe if there's like my friend has this too, or is it close to? Because
there was always something to do.
There was always something. So sometimes I would be first one leaving my place, last one coming back, and that was just a regular plan. So I had no time to have me time to be like, okay, what is gonna happen if this just, even before the pandemic, if this was just to stop, like I get fired from my job or all of this, what am I gonna do?
All right, that's the kind of love we're manifesting.
That's what we're trying to.
Stop in the middle of the mall today.
I'm so glad you captured it. But yeah, in that kind of lifestyle when it was just bam, 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 boom.
And you're not growing.
You're not growing. Yeah.
You're, like you said, in a cycle.
Yeah.
The next day you do it all over again, you do it all over again. But there's no growth.
It's not time to stop and just be like, they say like, smell the roses. I've smelled so much beautiful roses.
Same here in Mexico.
Yeah. So it's really nice to just have this kind of fresh kind of like time. I could just really,
and you feel refreshed yourself.
One time.
One of the guys we met in Mexico City, our chiropractor.
Oh yes, I remember you told me about
that. That guy was so wise. But one of the things that he does is he has an alarm on his phone, and every day, I think he said at 3 p.m. It asks him like, how are you feeling? And like, what are you doing with those emotions?
Yes,
whoa.
It's fantastic.
Isn't it? Because it's like every day you're putting the intention of doing that hard work.
Yes.
Like, all right, how am I feeling, and how is this gonna help me tomorrow? Right? Like, if you're holding unforgiveness from someone, like, why are you withholding that? Just forgive them. Let it go.
That's what I'm saying. I think you have to forgive yourself before you forgive someone.
Oh my gosh. Snap, yes.
You know it.
You have to forgive yourself, and you also have to be kind to yourself.
Yes.
I think we talk about like kind people are my kind of people, and like be kind to people, be nice to others, but you have to be nice to yourself.
You honestly see it in people's characters. Like, I'm very big now on like, one thing I've studied on is like first impressions. When you meet someone, I think when you can see their kind of attitude or character, you can kind of see like, they take care of themselves. They're a real happy person inside. But if you could see someone, maybe he's not really looking at you, his eye contact, he's maybe got something in his mind, I think something has affected him that he hasn't been able to kind of let go. So it can be very detrimental because that can go through.
And I feel like people don't realize that, like that the kind of people you hang out with, it starts kind of rubbing off on you. Like they say that you're like the sum of the 5 people you're closest to.
Give me on the top. You want you to say like
not like my pastor says it.
Oh my God.
But
for sure.
It's so true.
It's 100% a fact.
And so if you're around someone who's like complaining about everything and so negative and views life like they're just waiting for something bad to happen, you find yourself starting to feel the same way.
You'll be quiet like when they're like, on their complaining tangent, and you just naturally that's gonna come to you if you're within the vicinity. And
you don't need that in your life, you guys. Like if there's already someone in your life, like you have to do the hard work of whether you want them to stay in your life or not. But if you're introducing someone new to your life and they're coming at you with like these things that are just aren't on your same journey, then I think it's best to say no.
Just to say no, thank you. I think a lot of people think that some places they're taught to always kind of like accept everything. You know what I mean? But be that mad.
And you can give acceptance.
Yes.
like you could be accepting of them. Like I'm not here saying like cancel culture is not what we're trying to do. No. But maybe and befriend them, sure.
Yeah.
But don't allow them to be like in your influence.
Yes, exactly.
Like in your circle of influence.
Yeah.
Like in your circle of influence, you should have people who are further along than you are, wiser, smarter.
So you can learn from them. That's why we're mentorships. A lot of like mentors, successful like lawyers, even bankers.
I have a mentor.
Yes.
And I feel like my life has changed drastically. She came into my life.
Excellent. Just to learn from them, to study them, you will slowly get to that.
And to have someone who, because as we said earlier, sometimes when you're in love or where you really like something, you're blind, like you have a lot of blind spots.
It's happened to me 100%.
It's happened to me too.
Yes.
And to have like a mentor who's been there, done that, to be able to say like, I don't like the way he talks to you.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, like or I don't like the way she stands you up.
Yes,
And for you to be like, well, oh yeah, I hadn't even noticed because your lab goggles are
like. You can't see it.
Yeah, you're blinded by love.
Yeah.
But then to have someone who loves you, who cares for you, who can speak into those things, and it's not like she's you're just like, I don't know that I like this behavior. And then you can take time to be like, I don't like it either.
Yeah, exactly.
Or it's something that we're both working on.
Someone who could speak to you as a real, as like a real brother or a real sister, like
with your best interest.
Yes. You need that.
You need that. Yeah. In mentorships and friendships.
Yes.
Like if you can't take advice from someone, don't include them in your circle.
Yeah. And you brought such an interesting point, as you said, like when you talk about the mentorship, like the ones who are further along with you, like as you said, like your friends really dictate how you are as a person. So as you said, if you've got friends who want to get smashed, the Friday, Saturday, the maybe the Sunday, you naturally as a friend, you will go along that plan. If you got ones who are saying like, I want to get this, the ambition, the drive, the perseverance, they want to do this, you also just naturally be like, Richard's doing this, Genesis is doing
and it's
this.
inspiring.
Very inspiring. So it's gonna be like, you'll be like, I've got to get my kind of stuff together, you know what I mean? I gotta get on.
It's so important. Yeah. I mean, even this, like your podcast is much, or your videos, your YouTube channel, your brand, you're further along than I am. And so when you tell me things like, keep doing it, be consistent, like don't give up, like even if you don't see it, keep going.
When you told me, like, we were talking about the podcast on my YouTube just before, and I was just saying like, it's consistency, it's hard sometimes being alone, editing a video for God knows hours, and it's like no one's really telling you to do it, but you can see it. So and it's so undescribable, you know what I mean? I can't tell you, it's like a Pixar.
Right, no, but it's your child.
It's your face.
You're creating this. Yeah.
So just imagine if it's your baby, you want the baby to be the best it possibly can be. So you're gonna spend time taking the right thing.
Of course.
Yes. So that's why I was always saying, like, take good time. I'd rather you take time and make something quality.
And something you're passionate about.
So you're passionate, you know what I mean? Not like seeking like, how many millions of views or how many subscribers or how many followers I'm gonna get. As long as you're proud of it at the end of the day.
And I think if you could impact just one person, it makes a difference. It makes a difference. If you meet someone down the street and they're like that guy you said that inspired you to go to Mexico.
Yes.
Like you could be that inspiration to someone else.
I swear, like if it wasn't for him, honestly, I still was gonna come, but it's like he just sees someone who kind of looked like me and he took the dive and he's doing it. I was like, why can't I?
Why not?
So
I read this book called Atomic Habits.
All right.
So good. Yeah. But he says that it's not the people who are like, I am so passionate about this.
Yeah.
It's the people who are willing to do it even when it's boring.
Yes.
Like you said, hours editing.
Oh my gosh.
But you're still willing to do it.
Yeah.
And that repetition and that hard work.
Yes.
That's what leads you to success.
Naturally you'll get like better. Naturally you're just gonna like, when I look at it's nice because I still keep my videos that I did from 5 years ago, and I still appreciate it more now from where I've come from there to there.
I love that you're like 5 years ago and I still appreciate it. Meanwhile, I'm like, can we delete the first 3 episodes because it just doesn't sound good?
I obviously keep it just as a, because every video I think it tells like a story. I was like, okay, this is when I was still working there, you know, this is when I was still dating there. So
and look at how far you've come.
Yeah, it's like a badge of honor. I'm like, okay, cool, keep it. So
it's
amazing. It's amazing. All right, so.
So
we are
New York City.
And New York City, and yes, before it ends, make sure you check out Genesis podcast. To be quite honest, you see, I'm gonna break it down. Be honest. I'm also gonna put Genesis links in the description. Make sure you check her Instagram page out and links to the To Be Quite Honest podcast. And yes, stay tuned for more. And even before that, if you have any comments about just like, you know, traveling, you know, seeing the world, you know, relationships,
things that you want to ask about relationships,
yes, please
do
send a comment, send messages with either through our social media on our Instagram, also put it in the comment section, or you can message like directly tonight. So yes, thank you for taking time out. You're busy, and I'm in busy schedule for listening to another talk between me and Genesis right here live in New York City.
Richmond in New York City.
Oh, that sounds so good. Let's see. So yes, make sure you have a great day. Until then, it's peace, 2 fingers.